Yo, what is going on, part-timers? Zach here. In today's video, we're going to be talking about punishing Gray Raven. So I wanted to go over Grand Blue, which is going to be the brand new event coming up very, very soon, and just give you guys an idea of what to go for. So this one's going to be a little bit different than the normal ones. I think it's actually going to be a little bit simpler to understand. So let's go ahead and jump into it. So first and foremost, we got a brand new unit. So Cam is going to be here. He's like the alter ego of our normal Cam boy, and you can see that there's a brand new tab. So constructs here, these are our normal constructs, and transcendent. So he's going to be a transcendent, and he's going to be brand new and free at level 52. So if you're at level 52 and above, you'll get him for free. You actually do get a couple different things with him. You get a 5-star weapon. I pulled these ones on this account, but you get this one at level 25, and then you get some memories with him as well. So the memories work a little bit differently. I will jump way more into this when we do his showcase, but it's a 6-set instead of the normal 4 and 2 sets. So you can see that these memories actually go directly correlated with him. They actually use his name here. So Cam, he can go into Berserk, and then he can do a couple different things. And like I said, we'll talk more about the showcases and stuff like that when we get into it. But I just wanted to give you a general idea of what's going on with him. And then our construct is going to be an A construct. This is going to be a Vera. So she's actually not out yet. I think she comes out on February 7th. And I'm not sure, but I'm pretty sure you actually don't get her from a grindable resource because there is no event shop, which I know you heard me right there. I'm going to talk more about it, but you can get her from the A rank polls, which she's just going to be a guaranteed 10 pull. So you will be able to get her pretty easily. And the fact of the matter is you will be able to save quite a bit of BC if you want to here, because you do get him for free. You can pull on him, which we'll talk about here in a couple of seconds. And then you can get a pull for her, but it's only going to be 10 pull. So you can actually save some BC if you want to. However, if you want to get these guys ranked up, you can actually see there's a new tab now called Transcendent Exclusive. So this one's going to be just for Transcendents. And you can see that he's obviously the only one on here, so it doesn't really matter too much, but he's the only one on here 100%. And you get him at 10 attempts, meaning that you can keep grabbing this guy for a very long time. Now, from what I've noticed, and this may just be the fact that they're not completely leveled, they do seem to be a little less powerful when comparing to like the constructs, but we'll talk into the importance of why he's actually part of it and what goes into it when we talk about some different missions. But it's really cool that you can get him after 10 attempts. So this is kind of playing into like, hey, if you want to save the BC, definitely do so. But if you want to kind of grind him up, you can do that as well, as it does seem to be kind of like a free for all depending on what you want to do with your BC this event. If you guys are looking for like Nier and any other kind of units, I do recommend saving at this point. So totally up to you and the different teams that you have. So talking about the different events here, we have spring event. This is kind of weird because we're in January, but there are a couple different tabs here. So you actually get a weapon skin. So this is really cool. You get some different memories. I don't know necessarily the effectiveness on the memory. I'd have to go through and look at them, but just for the sake of collecting them, because they have really cool art, that's really cool as well. So basically going into this event, how you talk about it is you go into Year's End, which is this little tab here. And then you can see that you do a couple different missions. So these missions, I don't necessarily know how many they have, but you can do all these missions, and then they give you little boxes. So if you go into your items, you can see that they give you these boxes. You click it, they give you 100,000 cogs, and then they give you like cogs for everybody. And then you can see that so many people need cogs, like Karen needs this amount of cogs, Nanami, Lucia, all that kind of stuff to unlock some of the different things. So I'm guessing it's just kind of a luck of the draw, because you can see that sometimes somebody gets a little bit more, somebody gets a little bit less. So eventually the idea is just to go through here and try to get each and every one of these. And then you can see that some of them are just getting presents and stuff like that. So talking about Grand Blue itself, this is going to be a little bit more of like what you guys have seen. Jump in here, play a couple different things, get rewards for it. Basically just do everything the event has, upgrade your units, Vera, all that kind of stuff, and you will be rewarded for it. I'm not going to talk too much about all this stuff because we'll talk about it when we jump into the actual thing, because it's just going over Tower of Babel and then the auto maze thing, and then the new coding. So Sherbert Summer is going to be another thing that a lot of you guys are going to like. This is going to give you tons of rewards and a free SLE skin. So if you like to use SLE or you just wanted to have it anyway, this is going to be the way to get that. And these Sherberts, they're morning star cups, and basically the currency there is just anytime that you use stamina in general, they will give you morning star cups, and then you just get a certain amount. So basically it doesn't really matter what you're doing. You just play like the event, or you play some of the different stages, the resource stages, whatever you do, you will get some of these Sherbert cups. So it's more of just a stamina thing, but it's not one for one, meaning that if it's like a level 13, like it costs 13 stamina in order to do the mission, you will not get 13 back. You actually get usually like a lot more. It's just not one for one, but I think it's a lot higher in the most cases from what I've been able to see. So talking about the actual event, jumping into Grand Blue, you can see that the art is starting to take a turn. We're starting to get to a point where these events look really, really fun. I think we're going to have to make a part 2 though, because you can see that this is all pretty much unlocked except for Vera. I actually don't have her, so I can't do her interlude. You can see like 4 of these things are actually not available until like 21, 14, and the 7th of February. So we might have to make a part 2 just to talk about some of these different things when they come available. But talking about left to right, we're going to talk about the extra story. This is kind of what you expect. You can go through here and you can get some different resources. Again, this is going to be weird because you're not really going for a particular thing. Normally we're used to grinding for an event shop, but this is not going to be the case in this one because we actually don't have an event shop, which we'll talk about here in a couple of seconds. So interlude is going to be Cam here. You can see that the art is awesome, man. I want this as a live wallpaper. It's really cool. And then Vera's locked right here. And then they have a Venus skit. This is basically just a lot of cool skits. I think I'm going to do something for this, so definitely look forward to that. It's just short stories, basically going over like the summer event, all the different ways that these characters tie into it. You can actually see there's quite a bit of characters here. So that's going to be a lot of fun. And then we have the maze here. So this maze, I'm going to try really quickly to explain it as simple as I can. But if you guys want a dedicated guide to it, definitely let me know. You also get this, and it'll tell you exactly what's going on to it. They're very good at doing this. But basically the idea here is that you want to get to a rank. So it's more or less like Warzone when it comes to the ranking. If you get to a certain point system here, you will see that you get promoted or demoted, and then you can begin the mission. Now, the cool thing about the missions here, you can do add-on units. So there's a little thing that you do at the very beginning. It's kind of like this roguelite, and you can get some different ways of getting these resources that give you like, you know, percentages, all that kind of stuff to buff you up. And then they have some negative effects depending on the path that you choose. It'll make a lot more sense when you guys jump into it for the first time. But then you get to this point and you can see that dark increased by 30%. And then you can see that there's two different fields here. So this one is going to be for your constructs, meaning that it'll actually tell you here constructs recommended to be used, that you can use Transcendence if you want to, but it's recommending constructs. And then there's this one right here, which is actually just going to be recommended for Transcendence. So the thing is, obviously Cam's just by himself, so you'll probably have to use kind of a hybrid team. So the basic idea behind this though is you have a specific amount of waves that you need to hit. So it's like 0 out of 2. Once you hit 2, you have a little bit more time. There's always a timer going. So the idea is to always try to get to the next level of waves and clear out the amount of waves that it's asking you to do to get a little bit more time limit to get you a little bit higher up in those waves. So eventually you get to a point though where it doesn't really matter, it just starts counting down anyway, and you have to do your best to essentially wipe out the waves as fast as you can, and then you get a total score. So it's just the same way both ways. This one's for Transcendence and this one is for the actual constructs here, and you can do your add-ons and stuff like that to give you a little bit of a boost. But that is the general rundown of this. I know it's a little bit more confusing, so definitely let me know if you want an actual guide to that, and we'll definitely jump into it. The next new thing is going to be guilds. We will actually have a guild on day 1. I will let you guys know via a community post or probably just in the comments if it doesn't need to be too long, just essentially what's going on it. But if you want to know, like, hey, I want to create my own guild, you will have to pay 300 BC and 500,000 here for the cogs to get yourself a guild if you guys are interested in that, or you just have a couple of people that you really like to play with. So the next part I want to talk about is going to be the resources here. So resources are going to be basically what we're going to be grinding for most of the time. So if you have not jumped into here and you've never seen this, this is going to be the resources for memories. So the cool part about this though is that you have to get to AE5. So I think it's chapter or hidden chapter 5 is when AE5 opens up for you. So whenever you jump in here, you can see that it costs 30 stamina here, and then you get this currency. So this is a special support token, and what it does is it allows you to go into the resource shop. Once you go into the resource shop, you can see that you have some memories here. You have 1 through 6 on the person that you're choosing. So if you go to switch setup here at the top, you can see that you can choose a couple different people. Now, not everybody's in here. I think like Cody, Guinevere, some of those other ones aren't really in here. I don't know if they're going to rotate those out eventually, or they're going to have like in the next event you can do it. Now, the event here actually gives you about 50 to 70 for a 30 run. So it's going to help out quite a bit. It's pretty high. It's about what you would expect from some of the different event stages from previous events. But now you're actually able to like hone in on exactly what memories you want depending on what you're doing for your stuff. So I think this is going to be a very, very good event for saving BC, kind of building up your teams and really just getting more of an idea of some of the different memories that you're able to do. The last part we're going to be talking about is Tower of Babel. I know a lot of people were hoping that this was going to be making a comeback, and now it is. So you can actually see something very interesting. So this one says Transcendent. These ones say Construct. So you can get a little bit of an idea of, hey, I need to use a certain amount of people in order to do it. So this is basically what you'd expect from Tower of Babel. You know, pick your difficulty here. But however, you can actually see that there's not the traditional thing where you go through like set stages basically in order to get certain levels. You just go in here and you pick whatever you want to do from the very get-go. You actually don't have to clear a certain amount of stages in order to get to the next stage and to the next one to eventually get to this point. You can see that you can just go in here and you can click as hard as you want right from the get-go, and then you can actually get mission challenges as well. This is going to be basically what you guys realize from some of the other ones, is just going through some of the levels, you know, getting some of those. There's quite a bit of these memory shards, honestly. This is going to be a very good event for memory shards in general, I think. But that is basically the gist of this. You get as high as you can, and then you can see that there's mile markers and stuff like that for this as well. So it's just going to help out quite a bit with some of the different memories and just giving you a little bit more resources to use for your shards in case you cannot see the ones that you want in the resource shop. You're able to kind of pick and choose ones from the other shops. So that is basically the idea behind this event. I think it's a very packed full of stuff, guilds and all the different things that you're able to do. And plus, the BC that you're able to save if you choose to do so. But anyway, I'm going to go ahead and leave it there. Have a good rest of your night, guys. Peace.